You ever notice how being liked doesn't always feel good? Like someone compliments you, really sees you, laughs at your jokes, remembers things about you. And instead of warmth, your body does something weird. You downplay it, you deflect. You suddenly feel exposed, maybe even irritated. You think, why am I uncomfortable? They like me. This is supposed to be nice. Or maybe it shows up differently. You're fine blending into the background, but the moment attention lands on you, someone asks your opinion in a group or introduces you with praise or says, "You're really interesting," your chest tightens. You want to disappear, or at least soften the spotlight. And it's confusing because this isn't about being disliked. It's about being seen. There's a quiet psychology behind why being seen, even positively, can feel unsettling for certain minds. And it has less to do with insecurity than most people think. It has more to do with how you learned to survive, connect, and protect yourself. Let's talk about what's really happening when visibility feels like pressure. First, there's the self-protective calibrator. This is the person who learned early on that attention comes with consequences. Maybe praise was inconsistent. Maybe being noticed meant expectations or scrutiny, or being held to a standard you didn't choose. So now, when someone really sees you, likes you, admires you, highlights you, it doesn't register as safety. It registers as risk. You might notice this in subtle ways. You get a compliment and immediately explain it away. Oh, it was nothing. Someone expresses appreciation and you feel the urge to change the subject. You don't distrust them. You distrust what comes after being seen. Because your nervous system is quietly asking, what will they want from me now? For this type, invisibility once meant stability. Staying under the radar meant control. So being seen, even kindly, can feel like stepping onto a stage you never auditioned for. If you've ever felt relief when attention shifts away from you, even if it was positive attention, this might resonate more than you realize. Then there's the internal identity processor. This person has a rich inner world, but it's unfinished, fluid. They don't experience themselves as a fixed, polished version of who they are. They're always evolving, questioning, refining. So when someone says, "You're this kind of person," even if it's flattering, it can feel strangely wrong, limiting, like someone just froze a screenshot of you mid-motion and called it the whole picture. You might think, that's not all of me, or that's not even the most important part. Being seen feels uncomfortable here, not because it's threatening, but because it's incomplete. Someone else's perception feels like a box you're not done building yet. So instead of feeling validated, you feel misunderstood or prematurely defined, and that discomfort can show up as withdrawal, humor, or gentle resistance to being labeled at all. If you've ever felt uneasy when someone says, "I really get you," this could be why. You're still getting yourself. Then there's the emotional equalizer. This person is deeply aware of relational dynamics. They're sensitive to tone, energy, and expectation. They often feel responsible, consciously or not, for how interactions feel. So when someone likes them, really likes them, it creates an invisible pressure. I need to maintain this. Being seen doesn't feel like a moment. It feels like a commitment, a role, a standard you now have to live up to. You might notice this after a great first impression. Instead of excitement, you feel dread. What if I can't be that version of myself again? Or after someone expresses admiration, you suddenly want distance, not because you don't care, because the emotional labor just increased. For emotional equalizers, being liked means being needed in a certain emotional shape, and that shape can get heavy. If you've ever pulled back right after connection deepened, this isn't self-sabotage, it's self-preservation. Another type is the autonomy protective thinker. This person values inner freedom above almost everything else. They don't like feeling defined by others' expectations, even positive ones. So when someone sees them, praises them, admires them, expresses attachment, it can feel like a subtle claim, not ownership exactly, but influence. Their mind whispers, now I have to consider how this affects them, and suddenly the space feels smaller. This isn't about fear of closeness, It's about fear of losing self-direction. They're fine being known in fragments, fine being appreciated from a distance, but full visibility feels like negotiation, like their internal compass might get overridden by someone else's needs or perceptions. If you value independence and find yourself uneasy when someone gets too invested in you, this might be the undercurrent. Then there's the mirror-avoidant self-examiner. This one's quieter. This person doesn't struggle with being seen by others as much as being seen by themselves. When someone reflects back qualities, strength, depth, kindness, it forces them to confront parts of themselves they haven't fully integrated. Positive visibility becomes a mirror they weren't ready to look into. You might feel a strange discomfort when someone names something good in you, not because you disagree, but because accepting it would change how you see yourself. It would require rewriting old internal narratives. So instead of letting it land, you deflect, you minimize, you joke, you keep the reflection blurry. If compliments feel heavier than criticism sometimes, this could be why. Growth can be more destabilizing than judgment. Now here's the part most people miss. Being uncomfortable with being seen doesn't mean you're insecure, broken, or emotionally unavailable. Often it means your mind learned that visibility has weight, that attention changes things, and your nervous system is simply asking, is this safe? Is this stable? Do I have room to stay myself here? Some people feel energized by being seen. Others feel exposed. Neither is wrong. They're different survival maps. The trouble starts when you shame yourself for that discomfort, when you think, I should enjoy this, or why can't I just accept being liked? The better question is, what does being seen represent to me? Expectation? Obligation? Definition? Risk? Growth? Once you understand that, the discomfort starts to make sense. So maybe ask yourself gently where you recognized yourself. Were you protecting your autonomy, your emotional energy, your unfinished sense of self? And maybe being seen isn't something you have to rush into. Maybe it's something you learn to negotiate on your terms. If this kind of quiet psychology resonates, if you like exploring the subtle patterns behind everyday feelings, this channel is about exactly that. The things people experience but rarely name. And if you feel like sharing, tell me in the comments, when does being seen feel comforting to you? And when does it feel like too much? Sometimes understanding yourself starts with realizing your reactions were never random. If this resonated, if you've ever felt that quiet discomfort when attention lands on you, consider subscribing for more reflections like this. This channel explores the subtle psychology behind everyday feelings, the inner reactions people rarely talk about, and the patterns hiding beneath normal behavior. And if you're up for it, leave a comment. When does being seen feel safe to you? And when does it start to feel like pressure?